was Christmas Eve, a couple months before I became Muslim. And it was Christmas Eve, and I was in my studio downtown all by myself because I was not talking to my family, so I was alone for the holidays. So I was just sitting there, and it was late at night, and it was snowing, and I was just kind of thinking to myself, like, all right, I have two ways I can do this. I can figure out something, I got to do something, or I'm probably not going to be here very much longer. Whether if it wasn't the drugs that took me, I was ready to die. I was not. I had no hope. I had nothing left inside me. I was not Brooke anymore. I don't know who I was. And so I called my friend, my Muslim friend, and I told him, I was like, I'm having a lot of problems right now, lots of problems. And I asked him to get me a copy of the Quran, because throughout our friendship, the advice that he had was always just so positive, and it always, everything made sense. He always had an answer for everything. And I thought, maybe there's something in this, maybe I can find what I need, from Islam. And so that night, I drove out it was a Borders, I think. Yeah, it was a Borders bookstore, and he met me there at the parking lot and handed me a Quran that he had bought for me. And so I took it home, and I started reading it that night. He told me what to do. I put on my shower robe with my hood on it, because I didn't have any scarves. I didn't know what I was doing. Made wudu, wrapped myself up, and started reading it. And wallahi, I read it for 4 days straight. I took breaks to sleep, and I'm not the kind of person that likes to read. Before this, I hated reading. You could not get me to open a book for anything. And I read for 4 days. I called in sick to work. I didn't even go to work. I started reading it. I could not stop reading it. It was like feeding me, That's when I knew that I wanted to become Muslim, because I finally felt like there was hope, and the message in the Quran was not sometimes people say, well, why didn't you read the Bible? Why didn't you start going to church when you start feeling bad? But I grew up Christian, and I knew that I knew what Christianity was, but it was not enough. What I like most about Islam is that there's accountability. You are completely responsible for everything that you do in your life. And I was going through life, I didn't care. I just figured that, whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. I'll go to heaven. I'm trying to be a good person, but life sucks, and, poor me. And, I just was very selfish, and that's not, you can't live your life like that. So once I finished reading the Quran, I got as many books as I could about Islam. I just could not, I wanted to know everything, and I read, and I knew after I finished the Quran that I wanted to become Muslim, but I knew it wasn't going to be easy. The lifestyle that I had then was haram, everything. It was terrible. And I knew that I was going to get, I wanted to know everything about Islam. I wanted to know everything, that way I wouldn't be faced with any question. Nobody could ask me something that I wouldn't know. I wanted to know everything about Islam. It's really difficult to describe, but once I read the Quran and I started, trying to make strides to, prepare myself to actually become Muslim and change my life, I had this feeling like nothing could touch me. I just felt incredible. I had so much power within myself. I knew I could get through this. I knew that I was gonna, get myself out of this, this hole that I had dug myself so far in, I had to get myself healthy again, physically. I had to, I quit drinking, I quit doing drugs, stopped, going out. I just kind of became a hermit. I had to nurture myself. I had to get myself back to where I needed to be. I had to mend my relationships, with my family first. I had so many things I had to fix, but I knew that I was going to do it. And I did it, and it's hard to take myself back there, because it is such a dark time in my life. And I think that God kind of helps me to not go there. Like I don't think about it unless somebody asks me about it. But I've had some people, send me messages and they want me to, they ask me how I became Muslim. So I feel like if this helps anybody, like one girl in the same position that I was in, if it helps anybody to come to Islam, or to answer a question about it, or to to help anyone in any way, then I would absolutely do it, because Islam saved my life without a doubt. I honestly don't think that I would be here if I hadn't read the Quran and become Muslim. My life is like, I don't want to say that my life is perfect. Nobody has a perfect life. I mean, everybody has problems. Everyone's going to struggle, no matter where you are, no matter what you do. But it's about how you take care of those problems. And before, I just ran away from everything, and I just filled my mind and my body with poison that just destroyed my life. So on February 20th, I became Muslim. It was like a whole new life for me, and it was just amazing. And then 3 years later, last May 31st, I married my best friend, who brought me to Islam. So it's it kind of feels like a fairy tale sometimes, because it went from something that was so bad, to something that's so good. And now I live with my best friend, and he's my husband, and I love him so much, and he helped to save my life. And it's just like, I just can't believe that how much things have changed. And that's what I wish I could show to people is, going out and partying and drinking and all that. It might be fun at the time, and it might, what happened to me might happen to you. You could get so far into it that you can't get out. But there is hope. I mean, I'm so much happier now than I was ever, doing that. Like, there's nothing, it's not fulfilling at all. It's not, there's no way to live. I just thank God so much for helping me. And I am by no means the perfect Muslim. I still have a lot to learn. So now I just try to, I continue to try to educate myself. And by making my videos, I hope that I can put a different spin on it, maybe that other American girls might be able to better relate to, or anybody. I just know that, I see so many of my friends still now, on Facebook, or I bump into them, and it's just like, I feel like sometimes they are experiencing what I was, and I just wish I could just shake them and be like, listen, like, it's hard to get people to understand it, because Islam has such a bad reputation because of what the media has put in everyone's head. But I just hope that somehow my videos can help somebody. And I think that's about it. Sorry, I'm a crybaby. It makes me emotional sometimes talking about this. So I think that's it. Yeah, message me if you have any questions, or if you have any ideas for any future videos for me to do. I will do my best to help you or answer any questions you might have. And thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.